Hey everyone, hello, it's Lori. Welcome to live stream with Lori tonight. I'm excited to get with you all tonight as always and talk about all things personal transformation, talk about all things manifesting and really, rock out tonight. I know that there was a lot of you that were excited about tonight's topic. I'm talking about how to open up the floodgates of prosperity in your life, in your business, in love, in abundance, all the things. So I'm excited about tonight because here's what I know. I know that there's this desire, I should say. I know that there's this urgency. I know that there's this deep craving for abundance and prosperity and good and things to unfold and unravel and unwind in your life. And I know that there's that part of you that wants to have the floodgates open, and they do sometimes. Sometimes I've seen my clients walk in the door and all of a sudden they're like, why is my life shifting so quickly? What's going on? I just got here. And I'm like, I know, that's what happens when you shift. And the shifting happens and the energy starts moving really, really quickly. But I wanted to say, we want this experience of the floodgates opening, and I do see that. But I also see, and I talk to so many people, I also see why the floodgates don't open. And I want to give you some things tonight that help you kind of fine-tune yourself. So we're going to be fast and furious tonight. There's a ton going on here in my world, so we're going to be so fast and so pointed tonight. I like to talk a lot. So if you're new to me, I'm Lori. I'm the creator of the Manifestation 100, of Quantum Life Academy, of many sister programs under the umbrella of my work. I've been coaching for about 20 some years, probably going on 25 almost years, but for a very long time. So I was one of those pioneer coaches in the coaching industry, to be really honest. And so I opened my heart and I opened my door to the coaching world, and I never really looked back. I've been doing these live streams. It's going to be coming up on a year pretty soon. And I thought to myself, I'm almost at the point to tweak the live streams just a little bit, maybe do a few more during the daytime, all the things. So tonight, though, I really wanted to keep the momentum going and talk about floodgates, because I know that that is how we want to feel it. It feels exhilarating, it feels opening, it feels amazing and beautiful and grand, and sometimes we just want to have such a powerful shift. And like I said, I do see that. Sometimes people walk through the door and they're like, I can't believe all the things that all these manifestations have been pent up, and I'm all of a sudden so much energy is moving. I want to talk about how to open up the floodgates. And it really does occur to me, and I think it probably will occur to you as well, that while we want these floodgates, we don't have the floodgate lever on. And so we want that. We want the desire. We feel the resistance. We feel this inner stuckness. I want the floodgates to open and they're not opening. I know that feeling really well, and that's probably why I can speak to it, because I am a person, and I've always been a person. Raise your hand if this feels like you too. But I've been a person I have big desires, right? And it's sometimes they almost consume you, and sometimes they're so exciting, but on the flip side of that excitement, when they're not moving fast enough, sometimes it can slow down to an ache, and you're like, please just let the floodgates open. So I want to speak to that a little bit, but one of the things that we don't realize that, a floodgate has a lever. And we, instead of sitting around waiting for the floodgates to open, waiting for something good to happen, waiting around, instead of waiting, we can really walk over and say, oh my gosh, what can I do within myself, within my vibration, within my frequency? What can I do, right, to help turn on the lever? Because we forget we're at choice, and we get caught up in this waiting mode. And waiting, what does waiting create? when you're waiting for the floodgates to open. I'm waiting for the floodgates to open. I'm waiting, 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 waiting. Something's got to give here, right? As if there's this like amount of pressure that will descend upon your life. I have never thought about it this way until this very second, potentially, but there's never amount of pressure that will descend upon your life that will bring you more of what you really truly desire. So I don't know, think about that. You know, when we allow that to mount, what are we really creating? Sometimes floodgates of overwhelm and floodgates of chaos. So when we want the floodgates to open, we have to be really conscious about that and really turn on the lever. So let me know if you felt this way, if you feel like you've been waiting for the floodgates to open and you've forgotten that you can go over and flip the switch yourself. So that's what I'm talking about today. Why is this important, really? You know, why is this important? Well, because I want you to have what you want, because I want you to feel empowered. I want you to feel like you have choice in what you create in your life. I want you to feel happy, joyful, amazingly inspired. I want you to feel tapped in. I want you to feel like you can walk over and say, I'm going to get into some powerful alignment right now. And I'm in charge of my frequency, and I'm in charge of the floodgates, and I'm going to become a vibrational match to it. So feel into this for a minute. Floodgates, are they opening, right? Is that a vibrational match to waiting for that to happen? Is that a vibrational match to slow moving energy? Is that a vibrational match to feeling like it's never going to happen? So I want to explore a couple things tonight, because if you want floodgates, you got to become a vibrational match to them, and that means turn up your own dial, because guess what? The floodgates do not exist outside of you. The floodgates exist within you. So feel me on this. Did you ever think, wow, the floodgates to my abundance and my prosperity and my life exists within me? I'm actually the floodgate. Where's my lever? Is your lever off right now, or is it on right now, right? If it is feeling off right now, no worries. It's called the human journey, and I get it. So why is opening floodgates, like I can talk about it all night long. Why is opening floodgates? Why is that kind of abundance important to you? Tell me in the chat, would you please? I want to know what is important to you and why you want what you want. Because if you're sitting here watching me tonight, my guess is abundance is important to you, prosperity is important to you, good things happening quickly and in one right after another, synchronicity after another, like I say in my credo, that's important to you. That kind of like, I was talking to a couple clients today in group, and it's that experience of I live this quantum life. And I said, that's why I have named some of the programming Quantum Life, because we live in a different, we live operating from different principle, right? So tell me why the floodgate is important to you. And number two, how excited you might be to know that you're the floodgate. It exists within you, which is kind of cool, because the idea is if you're waiting for the floodgates to open, it exists outside yourself. If you are the floodgate, if you have control of the lever, that's kind of cool, because you can do something about that. Is that not amazing? So yeah, tell me in the chat below your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. So tonight, I really just want to like hit on 5 things that I think it's important to remember. Number 1, probably 6, because we're talking about you're the floodgate. However, I really want to share with you these 5 things, and some of them are energetic and some of them are come-froms, but I need you to remember these things as you set out to align with abundance. So I am a believer, you guys know my work in the butterfly world. I am a believer in the butterfly effect, and I want you to feel into this for a second. You know, every day, all day long, you have an opportunity to either be being in motion in a way that moves you toward what you want, or being in motion in a way that moves you away from what you want. So I want you to feel into this potential. And I know there's going to be an argument on the other side of it, which I'll talk to you about in a second, but I want you to feel into this. Woo. Every movement every moment, every state of being, me, matters. Like every movement matters, every thought matters, every emotion matters, every choice matters. So when you're looking to dial up that level, that gushing, flooding, oh my gosh, I'm going to be so at a vibrational match of the millions that I am manifesting for myself. When you want to be at that level, that gushing, moving level, I want you to feel like, whoa, what if I actually came at this like every movement, every thought, every emotion, what if it all mattered? So what I don't want, and I know there's this argument on the other side, and I probably have said it too, but for me, I'm very energetic in how I coach, but it's like, you can say everything matters, right? And you can make it move for you so powerfully, or you can be like, well, everything matters and I have to be afraid of my thoughts. That's not the thing. It's everything matters. I'm going to get in so much alignment. I'm so excited to get in so much alignment with abundance and with the prosperity, because energy creates from this amazing field of potential. My energy creates. So do I want to be in alignment with floodgates? What would that look like if I was? You have to ask yourself the question. This is a big one. What would it look like 24/7? And this is such a challenge, but seriously, when we look at the 100% responsibility model, I want you, and I always say, be there more often than not. Be there more often than not. But if you really want that elevated level, how much time do you want to spend in I'm broke? How much time do you want to spend in there's not enough money to go around? How much time do you want to spend in I'm not getting anywhere? How much time do you want to spend there? So floodgates is a big call. And if you're asking for that kind of opening, that's fabulous, but you have to be willing to allow it in yourself, and you have to be willing to elevate your energy to be a vibrational match to it. Raise your expectations, raise your bliss factor, raise your joy factor, raise your expectancy factor. I think I already said that in a different way. However, I want you to feel into this. Like, if you want floodgates, are you a vibrational match to floodgates? So I don't want you to be afraid of your thoughts. I just want you to be excited and playful with your thoughts. Am I a vibrational match to the floodgates of abundance that I want to invite into my life? Thank you, universe. One more, please. I open myself up to copious, massive floods, rivers of money, of cash, of abundance, of prosperity. And how good does that feel? It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. I love the feeling of that. Like, are you there? That's the vibration of floodgates. Feel into that for a second. So every movement, every motion, every thought, every feeling, every shift matters. And what's awesome is everything is energy, and energy creates matter. And you are the director of that energy that creates the matter. So how cool is that? So I just want to ask you, like, where you're at and have you tune in. Number 2, that one. Tell me if that's helpful, by the way. Tell me if that's helpful. I hope so. All right. So my grandfather was a wise man. You guys hear about him often. He said, and always says, and he quotes the greats, he says, remember that energy in motion stays in motion, right? It would make some sense. Tell me if this feels true. Tell me if this feels true to you. It would make some sense that energy in motion stays in motion. And if you want to manifest floodgates of abundance and prosperity and love and goodness, that to be a vibrational match to that you would have to be moving in your energy. Meaning, last I checked, the floodgates didn't open and everything stood still. Last I checked, floodgates came with massive, beautiful motion, and action and energy and flow. And I don't know about you, but if I want floodgates, I've got to be like, how can I cause a beautiful, gushing rampage of motion in my life? And it might be that you have learned like how to manifest, right, with the quantum field in a way that moves mountains. And it might be that you take such delicious, juicy, aligned action and you know how that feels, that you also move mountains. There's so many inroads to this, but I want you to be remembering, if you want floodgates, energy and motion stays in motion. And floodgates is no trickle. And if you want floodgates, you've got to be willing to be that essence, be that greatness, be that energy, right? You have to be willing to rise in how you feel about yourself, how you think about yourself. I can't cause a floodgate when I'm depreciating myself, for example. Okay? Feel me. Tell me if this is helpful. Send me some love and some hearts. I need to hear from you, and I want to know if this is resonating. Hey, everybody. Hi, Laura. Hi, Judy. Hi, Wendy. Hello, hello. Hi, Katrina. Awesome. Okay? All right. That's the second one. I mean, sometimes I just have to state the obvious. Floodgates rush in. Floodgates open up. Massively, beautifully flowing. So gorgeous, isn't it? Okay. Number 2. Now here's some come-froms. Here's some things I want to just be like, hey, this is tough love. But I want you to think about where the floodgate happens. Does the floodgate happen in the past? Nope. Can we imagine it in the future? Absolutely. But it does happen in the now. And most of the time, our focus is on what's not happening right in our most recent past. What didn't happen in the week? What didn't happen this month? I didn't hit my income targets. How many new clients did I not generate? So that is not a vibrational match to the floodgate either. So I want you to stop focusing. This is really easy to do, right? This is a to-do list piece. Stop focusing on the shoulda, coulda, because the floodgate happens in the now. The floodgates rushing in the now. The floodgates are busting open the beautiful doors of your abundance and prosperity in the now. So everything is happening in the now. So feel me when you shoulda, coulda, or you're focusing all the things that didn't work out. It's not a vibrational match to the picking up of that energy. So energy actually has there's speed, right? There's a speed in this. And so when you're looking at the shoulda, couldas, judgmental criticism of your floodgate infused self, right? When you're looking at that, it's like, I'm not a vibrational match to it. And I slow myself way down. So is how I'm thinking and how I'm feeling and where I'm focused a vibrational match to the speed of this floodgate? Or is the shoulda, coulda, judgmental criticism, depreciation, is that a match to molasses? Probably. Okay? So energy, so experience has a speed, energy has a speed, emotion has a speed. You can feel it, right? When I say the word floodgate of joy, you go, huh, I feel that. Open up a floodgate of joy, floodgate of prosperity. You feel that? If I say, let's put our attention on a trickle, you feel that too. So, by the way, there's this whole thing called the trickle effect, which I believe leads to a floodgate, but that's a whole nother class. It's called the trickle theory, and it does work, but you got to do it in a certain way. Trickle theory, spiral up. Okay, we'll talk about that maybe next time. All right, so number 4, I want y'all, and I'm not from, that's my Wisconsin accent trying to be funny. I want you all to think about making mistakes and literally give yourself permission to stop being afraid of making mistakes. So when we find ourselves like frozen in fear or not wanting to take action or not wanting to move forward or feeling frozen in decision or held back by a set of belief systems that probably aren't even ours in the first place, what happens? We shut it down. And we don't just shut down opportunity, but we do shut down the flow of possibility, but we shut down the flow of the good coming into you. So I don't know, I can't make a decision. I don't know, I can't do it different. We're so afraid of making a mistake that we actually want the floodgate, but we won't change. We won't get out of the comfort zone. I've done hours long talks on comfort zones and things like this, but like, what would happen tomorrow if you just said, I'm gonna live one day I'm gonna live a little differently and decide I'm not going to live like I'm gonna make a mistake all the time. I'm gonna be willing to experiment. I'm gonna be willing to explore. I'm gonna be willing to follow my synchronicities. I'm gonna be willing to open up the breadcrumbs, maybe even create them. What does that mean? To be willing to not be so afraid to make mistakes. Maybe that means you'll do something imperfectly. Maybe that means you'll take an action in your business. Maybe it means that you'll, I don't know, show up differently, risking all the scary things, being seen, being heard, not looking good, not being enough, all the things that we're afraid of. So I want you to just stop being afraid of making mistakes. Floodgates don't care about the mistakes. Floodgates gush in when you're aligned. Floodgates don't pause and say, boy, you better correct that. And we'll stop flowing while you fix that little imperfection. They're like, no, there's a stone in the river. We'll go around it. Make do. It turns out to be pretty beautiful too, with a roaring river and all your imperfections. Okay, you feel me on that? All right, number 5. So, like I said, I'm a believer in the butterfly effect. So I want you to think about being a vibrational match to the floodgates, and that you are the floodgate and that you have the lever. I want you to ask yourself this question. I don't know that I have the answer for it for you right now, but I would like it if you would share it with others in the chat below or share with me. But I want you to think about, what's one thing? What is one thing I'm willing to do, one shift I'm willing to make that makes me a vibrational match to the opening of the floodgate inside of me? Because I believe that there's a thing inside of you. There is that scary thing. There is that fearful thing. There is that belief system. There is that stuck point. And when you move that one thing, or remove it for a day, or shift it for a day, you know what they say, a butterfly flaps its wings and on the other side of the world a change is made, or a hurricane happens, right? Or something. There's movement. And that's what I'm talking about. Energy in motion stays in motion. So what's the one shift you're willing to do? What's the one thing that you're willing to do to create a vibrational match to an opening, to the floodgate, to the river flowing? Like, what would that look like for you? So let's take a look at some potential. Maybe that motion is tomorrow, or even right now, you're like, wow, everything I think matters, every choice matters, and that is good news. So I can create a different effect in my reality by changing myself. Let's practice that. What would that look like? Maybe you give up self-depreciation. Maybe you stop being afraid of doing that one thing you know that you're supposed to do in your business but haven't been able to have the courage to do it. Maybe you just show up. Maybe you just say, right, I'm good enough right now, right here, imperfect, and that is a match to the floodgate. Because it isn't about being perfect, it's about being a vibrational match to all the possibility, to your limitless. It's about being a vibrational match to the to the goodness that's flowing inside of you, to the prosperity that wants to flow through you, to the prosperity that can flow through you. Okay, Angela, you're like, I need to physically move, right? Sometimes it's that. Sometimes you just need to move. You need to move the apparatus that is the floodgate. That's you. Kelly, I will be more deliberate with my thoughts, right? Jessica, oh my gosh. Do you remember when I had a dream that I was floating down the river? And you and Tim, wait a minute, I can't open that. Shoot, I can't open her comment. Dang it. Wait, there it is. Down a river with you and Tim before I even knew about Tim. That was Floodgates. This was even a little bit more than Floodgates, but yes, it was. So I want you to think about the one thing you're willing to do for you to show up to be a vibrational match to the floodgate, because you know what that is. You know what that is. I have many things to say about how to be a vibrational match to prosperity, many things to say about this. But tomorrow when you wake up, you know what you need to do. And maybe that's connect to the feeling of abundance in a way that you've never connected before. Abundance and floodgates feels like what? It feels like more than enoughness. Do you know that you can't stand in your not enoughness as a human being and attract floodgates? So you might be like, I need to start with me. I am enough. I am enough. That's a pretty huge shift, isn't it? That's a pretty huge shift, goddesses. We're doing lots of that work in that class right now. So feel into this. Like, why is this so important? You know, why is this so important? It's because we pinch ourselves off because we want the floodgate, but we wait for it. And I can promise you the waiting creates more waiting. The waiting creates more block. The work on yourself creates more motion. It creates more energy. It creates more intention. It creates more alignment. And when you stop judging yourself for all the things that you are doing or wrong, for example, we start tapping in. So floodgates, not only do you have the lever inside of you, but it is a feeling, it is a frequency. Feel this. When I say open the floodgates, feel into the frequency of this. It's powerful, right? It's rushing, it's powerful, it's fun, it's moving. And every part of us needs to say, how can I be open to riding that and being it? And on the flip side, receiving it too. All right. So beautiful. Keep the comments coming, you guys. I love this so much. This is really awesome. I want to make sure that I have said everything that I want to say today. I think I have. I moved off topic, but that's okay. So tell me in the chat below, tell me, was this helpful? Tell me, was this helpful? Because floodgates, I swear to you, is a frequency. You know, it is a feeling. And to tap into it, we have to elevate ourselves there first. So starting tomorrow, yes, follow the syncs as they come. That is a vibrational match to the floodgates. Absolutely. This is awesome. I'm seeing a bunch of action here too. Kendra, you're like, I am willing to take classes to get my therapist license, which in the past I've told myself I'm not smart enough. Oh my gosh, that's big stuff. That's good. Helpful, guys? Okay, good. Yeah, that's big stuff. Floodgates, big action, big energy. And be open to asking yourself this very vulnerable question. Like, am I a match to it? Half the time, 3/4 of the time, maybe even 90% of the time, we'll say, I want the floodgates, but I'm really, if I'm honest, not a vibrational match to the floodgates. And here's the other thing. If you're not, that's like, okay. You know, I'm not here to say that you should go faster or that floodgates is where you need to be, but I know that the desire exists within us because we want that. It's like, it gets to the ache. We're like, anytime now, the dam can break open. There can be this floodgate of all the good that I've built up behind the scenes in my life. And I believe that's massively true. And I also believe that it doesn't actually take as much shifting as you think it needs to take. I think it needs to be like consistent, and I think you need to have intention, and I think you need to be on point, and I think you need to be inspired, and I think you need to feel into like really what's possible for you. I think you need to open up to a different way of thinking, because we tend to think that there is only so much possible for us, and that's just because of what we've learned along the way. So, all right. So if this resonated with you, if you want to explore doing some work with me, but I need a hashtag yes from you if you want to have a conversation about dialing up your floodgates. If you want to have a conversation about becoming the floodgate and opening up the floodgate, really truly getting out of your own way and standing in what's possible for your life. But start with these things. Have a conversation with me. I'd be happy to kind of like help you ferret out, lay it out, unpack it a little bit, and see like what's going on for you that needs that fine tuning, that needs that frequency, that needs that infusion so that floodgates can open for you. So, all right, give me a hashtag ready, you guys. I will see you later. I look forward to talking to you soon, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.